Today we will learn how to properly run column chromatography. First, you will notice I'm wearing my goggles, my gloves, my flame retardant lab coat, as well as my pants and closed-toed shoes. Now for the glassware we will need today. First, a test tube rack with numbered test tubes, an Erlenmeyer, which will contain our sample, a beaker or Erlenmeyer to collect excess eluent, a column equipped with a frit and a stopcock, a beaker full of sand, a graduated cylinder with the appropriate amount of silica gel, a funnel, a clean Erlenmeyer flask to make our slurry, a beaker or flask with our eluent, and finally you will need a pipette and a bulb. First, we need to make our slurry. Take your clean and dry Erlenmeyer, add your funnel, and pour your silica gel into the flask. Make sure this is done in the hood. Add enough eluent to make a proper slurry. Now, if we look to the top of the column, we will place our funnel and pour in our slurry. You notice how there's still silica gel in the flask. Rinse with eluent 2 or 3 more times. Now we will pack our column. You notice how the silica gel is now forming the column. First, you'll take your air adapter and turn on your air. And place your air adapter at the top of the column. Now notice at the bottom of the column, your stopcock right now is closed. Before adding your air, open your stopcock. Now, back at the top of the column, put your air adapter. Now we can notice in the middle of the column how our eluent is being pushed through the column and compressing our silica gel. Make sure that your eluent does not go past the level of your silica gel. This is important to prevent any cracking. Towards the end, make sure you are careful not to allow that eluent to go past the level of the silica gel. Now, at the bottom of the column, close your stopcock. If you run your eluent past your silica gel, you will get something that looks like this, where you'll have white at the top and cracking through your column. If this occurs, you will need to repack your column. Now, take your flask with your sample and dilute or dissolve with eluent. Take your pipette, add your bulb, and now we will add carefully our sample to our column. Now, if we look to the top of the column, you will just drip in your sample down the sides, not disturbing the silica gel below. Repeat until all your sample is added. To ensure you have all your sample out of your flask, you will want to add more eluent and transfer 3 more times. Finally, take your sand and add this to the column. Now, you'll press the layer to load your sample onto your column, making sure that the eluent does not go past the level of the sand. Now, add eluent to fill the remaining column. Make sure at the bottom of your column you have enough room to place your test tubes, and you can efficiently and rapidly exchange your test tubes like so. Now it's time to start collecting our fractions. Make sure your stopcock is open, and at the top of the column, add your air adapter. Now, if we look to our test tube, we notice that we are starting to collect our fractions. This rate is a little fast. You'll want a slower one. When you see that the level of the test tube is the amount you want, then exchange the test tubes, making sure you go in numerical order. Make sure you keep an eye on the level of your eluent. Once you have collected all your fractions, replace a beaker or flask to obtain and dry out your column for storage of your excess eluent. Now you can let the eluent run past the sand and past the level of the silica. You'll see how the silica is now drying out. To remove the silica, let your column dry for 5 to 10 minutes with the air running through it. This will give you enough time to TLC your fractions and to rotovap off your solvent.